We live in a society that has taught us to fear solitude. We see it as a sign of failure, as though the presence of others validates our worth, and the absence of company diminishes our significance. Time and time again, we are told to surround ourselves with people, that true happiness is found in company and that being alone is almost a punishment. But what if this fear has clouded our perception? What if solitude isn't a punishment but a gift? There are moments in life when it seems as though the universe intentionally leads us into isolation. People drift away, relationships change, and we find ourselves in an empty space, questioning why. This loneliness can feel like a burden, but what if it is the greatest opportunity for growth that we will ever receive? What is solitude really? Have you ever asked yourself this question? If we stop avoiding it and begin to explore its potential, we might discover that this space of isolation is the gateway to profound self-discovery and a deeper connection with the universe. What if the universe isolates us not as a punishment, but as an invitation, leading us to a sacred space where we can finally uncover who we truly are? Imagine for a moment that solitude is a mirror where the universe invites us to see ourselves with absolute clarity, free of filters, distractions, and the expectations of others. This mirror reveals our shadows and our light, our wounds and desires. It exposes the layers we've built over time, the roles we've played, the masks we've worn to fit in, and the beliefs we adopted without ever questioning them. In this apparent loneliness, we are given the rare chance to observe ourselves without interference. Solitude offers a profound opportunity for introspection. It's as though the universe has given us a pause, a moment to stop and ask ourselves, who am I really beneath all these layers? This space becomes sacred, a time where our connection with ourselves takes priority. In this silence, our internal noise begins to quiet. And in that stillness, we hear a voice that has been silenced by the chaos of the external world, our true inner voice. But make no mistake, this process isn't always easy. Confronting our truth can feel unsettling, even uncomfortable. This is why many people avoid solitude. They find it unnerving to see themselves without any filters or distractions. Yet it is in this discomfort that transformation occurs. The philosopher and psychologist Jacobo Grinberg suggested that isolation and silence enable us to access a deeper perception of reality. He taught us that the world we experience is not fixed, but a field of endless possibilities, which can be transformed through expanded consciousness. In this way, solitude becomes a tool for growth. It reveals aspects of ourselves that would otherwise remain hidden. It allows us to identify limiting beliefs, unconscious patterns we've repeated, and the fears that lurk behind appearances. When we stand in front of this mirror of solitude, we have the opportunity to decide, consciously and courageously, which parts of ourselves we want to nurture and which we are ready to transform. Throughout history, many of the wisest and most inspiring figures, those we look up to, found their answers in solitude. Isolation was the fertile ground for their self-knowledge, introspection, and purpose. Think of it this way. Just as a seed must be buried in the darkness of the earth to grow, we too need these moments of emptiness to truly flourish. The next time you find yourself in solitude, stop and observe. Allow yourself to feel whatever arises without judgment. Listen to the thoughts and emotions that surface in the silence. Slowly, you'll begin to see solitude as a bridge, connecting you to a version of yourself that you may not have known existed. In a world obsessed with external validation, we often lose sight of what truly matters. We live in a society where constant connection is seen as a measure of worth, and isolation is considered a punishment. But if we shift our perspective, we will see solitude differently, not as disconnection, but as a bridge to something far greater. When embraced with openness, solitude becomes the key to accessing a deeper connection with the universe. In the stillness, we begin to hear not only our own voice, but the voice of universal intelligence. Grinberg's research showed that human consciousness is not limited to time and space. There exists a web of interconnected awareness, a network that links all beings and events. This connection is always available to us, but it is in solitude, away from external distractions, that we can truly perceive it. When the universe isolates you, it is leading you to a space where external noise loses its power. It is here, in the emptiness, that you begin to sense the subtle signals of the universe, the synchronicities that you may have overlooked before. Grinberg called these moments fragments of a cosmic language, signs from the universe that guide us when we are present and attentive. Solitude is not a punishment. It is an invitation to connect with a reality far greater than ourselves. In this place of stillness, we realize we are not truly alone. We are part of an eternal dance of interconnectedness. If you have reached this far, let this comment resonate. We are all one. Let this serve as a reminder to anyone going through a period of solitude. You are not alone. We are all connected. Solitude offers us the opportunity to access this truth. Through meditation, reflection, and silence, we open ourselves to higher states of awareness. Jacobo Grinberg taught us that in moments of quiet stillness, we can connect to the infinite intelligence that surrounds us. Meditation, like solitude, is a practice of going inward. It is a way of quieting the mind and listening to the whispers of the soul. In solitude, this process intensifies. There are no distractions, only you and the vastness within you. In that stillness, the universe begins to speak. Here's the beautiful paradox. Solitude, which feels like emptiness, is actually full of possibilities. It is where transformation happens. It is where we let go of the beliefs that no longer serve us and embrace the truth of who we are. This journey is not easy. Solitude will challenge you. It will ask you to face the parts of yourself that you have ignored for too long. But it will also show you something beautiful. You are more than your circumstances. You are more than your thoughts, your fears, or your pain. You are infinite. In solitude, you come to realize that your worth is not determined by external validation. You are not defined by the relationships you have, the roles you play, or the approval of others. You are defined by the connection you cultivate with yourself and the universe. Think about the patterns in your life. How many times have you ignored the signs calling you to slow down, to look inward, to sit with yourself? Solitude is not an accident. It is a sacred invitation. When you resist it, you resist the opportunity to grow. Let me ask you this. What if the emptiness you fear is actually the space where you can create something new? Solitude clears the clutter of your mind, making room for clarity, for inspiration, and for purpose. It is where creativity is born, where solutions to life's greatest challenges emerge. When you allow yourself to sit in stillness, you begin to tap into a well of wisdom that has always been within you. The universe speaks through silence. Have you ever noticed how the most profound answers come when you're alone? Perhaps it's a thought that appears suddenly, a realization that brings clarity, or a feeling that points you in a new direction. These moments are not coincidences. They are the whispers of universal intelligence, guiding you when you are quiet enough to listen. Jacobo Grinberg believed that consciousness has no limits. He proposed that we are all connected through a field of awareness, a universal network that transcends time and space. In solitude, we can access this network. We begin to see the subtle synchronicities in our lives, the connections between events, people, and moments that we once dismissed as random. Solitude allows you to perceive these patterns. It teaches you to trust your intuition, to see meaning where others see chaos, and to recognize that everything is unfolding as it should. Ask yourself, what are the beliefs that hold me back? Solitude reveals these beliefs to you. It shines a light on the stories you've been telling yourself, stories of inadequacy, fear, or unworthiness, and it gives you the power to rewrite them. In this process, you transform. The discomfort you feel is not a punishment. It is a shedding of the old to make way for the new. Think of it this way. Solitude is like a cocoon. At first it feels dark, confined, and uncertain. But it is in this space of stillness that transformation happens. It is here that the caterpillar becomes the butterfly, and so it is with us. In solitude, we break free from the cycles we've been repeating. We see the patterns we've outgrown, the relationships that no longer align, and the beliefs that no longer serve us. We begin to let go of what we thought we needed, and in doing so, we make space for something greater. This is not a process that happens overnight. It is slow, challenging, and often uncomfortable. But it is also the most important journey you will ever take, the journey back to yourself. Remember this: solitude is not loneliness. Loneliness is the absence of connection. Solitude is the presence of yourself. When you embrace solitude with intention, it becomes a sanctuary, a place of peace, clarity, and growth. In solitude, you reconnect with your essence. You remember who you are beyond the noise of the world. You discover a strength within you that cannot be shaken. Take a moment now to reflect. What parts of yourself have you been neglecting? What dreams have you silenced? What truths have you been avoiding? Solitude invites you to ask these questions, not to judge yourself, but to understand yourself. It is here, in this quiet space, that you begin to heal. You release the pain of the past, the fears of the future, and the expectations of others. You reconnect with your inner peace, and you realize that everything you've been searching for has always been within you.